Hey, what's up guys? We're here for my NPL Week 3 matchup versus Alpha, or the Rocky Mountain Marowaks. Now, I'll go over his team real quick. He has Megalopunny, Manaphy, Reuniclus, Crocodile, Darmanitan, Snorlax, Weezing, Togetic, Raichu, Haxorus, and Crustle. So, looking at that team, I honestly am only scared of a couple things. Megalopunny is always threatening, so that's always something I gotta watch out for. Now, Manaphy is probably the biggest threat to my team in particular because of the fact that it gets Tail Glow, and Tail Glow, not only does it boost your stats by 1.3 in his special attack, but it also has great coverage and it can pretty much hit anything on my team, at least for neutral damage. So that is the biggest concern to me, at least in my opinion. There's a couple other threats like Reuniclus is just so bulky and annoying to play against. Also, the Crocodile could be, I don't know, like Scarf Moxie, or it could be I don't know. It's just, Crocodile is so hard to prep for because of the fact that it has decent coverage, along with the fact that it just has great stats overall, and its dual stab is just a very good, I guess, typing for its capabilities. Now, the Darmanitan is a little bit threatening, not the biggest concern though, because of the fact that they are usually one-dimensional. And the reason I say one-dimensional is because of the fact that they're either Scarf or Banded almost every single time, but even so, they're still a little bit hard to prep for. So, Darmanitan not the biggest concern, but still there. Snorlax, I'm pretty sure I can handle Snorlax pretty well due to the fact that I brought Cofagrigus, Pangoro, and even my Mega-Pinsir this match, so I don't think he would have brought it. Now, Weezing deals with my team, I guess, decently well, just trying to Will-O-Wisp things like Mega-Pinsir. It's one of the bulkier things on his team. Not too concerned about it though. Now, Togetic is his only form of hazard removal, so I think he's going to bring that. It also hard walls my Pangoro, but my Pangoro set actually can shut him down potentially. Now, the Raichu, I'm expecting him to actually bring the Raichu because of the fact that I have a Thunderous that actually beats his Manaphy 1v1, because they're never Scarf and there's no like boosting speed stat on Manaphy, at least I don't think there is. But yeah, Thunderous is really nice. He could be running Okanberry, but that's okay if he is. The last Pokemon that I really thought was kind of threatening versus my team is the Haxorus. Now, Haxorus is just so annoying to deal with. It gets great coverage, Mold Breaker, so it goes through Sturdy. It gets the what else am I about to say? It has like 147 base attack, and it gets options like SD or Dragon Dance, preferably Dragon Dance to get that speed boost. So I really have to watch out for it, and I'm not actually bringing Prankster T-Wave, so I cannot slow it down and then proceed to kill it. I will have to kill it with one of my mods. So Crustle is probably just going to be a hazard stacking set. It's just another form of rocks on his team with Crocodile. I can kind of scout to see what it is at the beginning of the match if he does decide to bring it. So that is just my interpretation of his team. Now I will go through my team building process with you guys right now. So first off, we're bringing Cofagrigus or Yami, just max pretty much with a little bit of Spadef. This Pokemon allows me to get up Toxic Spikes, and his only form of removal is Togetic, so he'd have to be defogging away his own rocks as well. I love the fact that I get Haze and Will-O-Wisp on the same exact set, because if you look at his team, Manaphy, that's a setup sweeper. You look at Reuniclus, another setup sweeper. Curse-Lax, setup sweeper. What else is there? I don't know if Raichu gets Nasty Plot, but it potentially could, so there's another option. And I know Haxorus gets Dragon Dance. So due to the fact that Haxorus and Snorlax have setups, they're going to be physical every single time. So I do have Will-O-Wisp for both of those. The Snorlax actually can't touch me unless it's running Crunch. I don't even know if it gets knockoff. But yeah, I can just Will-O-Wisp it, and if he is the Rest Curse set, I can just keep hazing him down, and I can either proceed to switch out on his Rest into my Pangoro or any other threat that I see fit. So very important getting up Toxic Spikes this week because of the fact that his team doesn't appreciate them at all, other than the Reuniclus and the Togetic and Weezing. So that's the only things that dodge the Toxic Spikes, and it'd be really nice to get those up. Now the second Pokemon we are bringing is our Thundurus or Blitzkrieg. We are running the Max Life Orb set with Prankster because I don't need Defiant for anything really. Thunderbolt and Volt Switch are just really nice stab. Volt Switch gives me great initiative. Hidden Power Ice is just pretty much nice coverage versus his team. Raichu doesn't particularly like a Life Orb Hidden Power Ice. Haxorus definitely does not. Crocodile does not appreciate it at all. It's super effective versus it. So it's just nice coverage. It was probably the best option. I didn't want to run Grass Knot because of the fact that it doesn't really hit a lot of things. Like, it barely does anything to Manaphy, and yes, like, say he wanted to like keep pivoting out, I thought Hidden Power Ice would be the go-to move to pick. So that's just my interpretation of why I chose Hidden Power Ice. Nasty Pot is a nice setup because I can set up on a lot of things like Togetic. I can also set up on the Weezing. I can set up on well, particular Manaphy as well, because they don't usually don't want to stay in unless he is Wakanberry. So that's what I just need to scout for. So the next Pokemon we are running is Designer, our Pangoro, with the Chople Berry and the ability Iron Fist, because I don't need Mold Breaker and I don't need Scrappy. He doesn't have a Ghost type. So we're running the Iron Fist set because I have Drain Punch. So it boosts my Drain Punch power a little bit. Knockoff is great for my dual stab. And this is where the set is really fun because I have Taunt and Parting Shot on the set as well. So I naturally outspeed a lot of things on his team. Like, I outspeed the Reuniclus, I outspeed the Snorlax, I outspeed the Weezing. Well, with my my speed investment, I outspeed the Weezing. I outspeed the Togetic, and I think I outspeed the Crustle. I'm not entirely sure. Let me, I think I might outspeed, yeah, I'm pretty sure I outspeed the Crustle. So, this is the set we are running today. Adamant Max Attack, pretty good HP investment, and we got 36 speed to outspeed the, or pretty much just speed creep the Weezing. Now, this set is very nice because of the fact that Togetic loves to run either one attacking move or no attacking moves. So his immediate answer to me is switching into Togetic, and this thing definitely doesn't appreciate getting taunted or getting knocked off because its main form of bulk is the Eviolite. So I can easily just click Knockoff and then click Taunt if I know he doesn't have Dazzling Gleam, or I can click Taunt on the switch in and then click Parting Shot to get the initiative. The Chople Berry is for a lot of things actually. I think I might potentially live a HJK from Lopunny. I know I live a Drain Punch. I know I live a Focus Blast from Reuniclus. I know I think I live a Superpower from Crook. I think Darmanitan might get Superpower, I'm not entirely sure. Same for Snorlax, I'm not sure if it gets it either, but I know I could live it potentially, if it's not maybe like Banded Crit. So yeah, this is pretty much as nice as it covers one of the weaknesses that Pangoro has, and hopefully it'll come in handy. So next we have the Brutal, our Mega-Pinsir, with the Hyper Cutter ability, because of the fact that Hyper Cutter does not allow any of my attack to get lowered on the Intimidate from Crocodile. So I don't need Mold Breaker, I'm running Hyper Cutter this week. And I'm just running Frustration and Quick Attack. I don't need anything else. I was looking at the close combat damage versus the Frustration damage, and it does about 5% more to a Snorlax. So, and well, not Lopunny, because Lopunny just drops from anything else. Yeah, I don't need the close combat at all, so I wanted to actually throw in a substitute because of the fact that I thought if I can bring this thing in on the Mega Lopunny or on the pretty much anything that he doesn't want to have out in front of a Mega-Pinsir, like the Togetic as well, I can just click substitute. And even on the Weezing, because Weezing is definitely going to click Will-O-Wisp immediately on me, if I click substitute and I get behind a substitute and I click SD, there is really not too much he can do at this point. I'm pretty sure Raichu goes down from +2 Quick Attack after Rocks and Poison damage. Yeah, so this thing would be a massive threat to him if I can end up getting a substitute and an SD off, which isn't too hard, it just needs to be the right situation. Because of the fact that I just don't need close combat, I would much rather have substitute on this. So that's just what I think about it. He could potentially just keep attacking me until he goes out into a different Pokemon to kill me off. it's one of the best ways to deal with Pinsir in my opinion. But anyway, that's just why I'm bringing it. The speed is to outspeed the Manaphy, and max attack for obvious reasons. So next Pokemon we have is a pretty interesting set. I'm running Assault Vest Blastoise. With the Thornton ability, I don't need Rain Dish. Scald Ice Beam is just nice coverage versus the team, as you can tell. Ice Beam is going to be really good for the likes of Togekiss and Haxorus. The Scald is great for Crocodile, Darmanitan, if I want to get a burn on something as well. So Scald's just a pretty safe play overall. Dragon Tail is a little bit interesting. The reason why I'm running Dragon Tail is because of the fact that I'm trying to hazard stack this week. It would be really great if I had a Pokemon with spikes, but I do not. I really wanted Roserade, but I do not have Roserade. Nick has it. So I'm running Dragon Tail, and I'm going to try to get everything statused on his team. I want everything poisoned, I want everything taking rocks damage, and I want everything in an uncomfortable position, put it that way. Now this set particularly allows me to eat a lot of things like Darmanitan's Flare Blitzes, Reuniclus's Psychics, a Manaphy especially. I can eat a +3 Manaphy Energy Ball, so that's great. I can also eat a Raichu, like a Specs Raichu Thunderbolt, and that's amazing too. That's probably only doing about 60 to 70%, and the Energy Ball from Manaphy at +3 is probably doing about 70 to 80%. So this set is really nice. It allows me to switch in on rocks if I have to, or allows me to come in after rocks and take the hit and maybe Dragon Tail him out, or just kill him off with a Scald, or spin away rocks if needed. So that's pretty much this set. I thought I needed hazard removal because of the fact that Blastoise is probably my best form of hazard removal, at least spinning. So yeah, that's why I brought Blastoise. I'm running a relaxed nature because of the fact that I don't need to outspeed anything, and I'm running a 2 physical hits and 2 special hits. So just to get that little bit more damage. Last Pokemon on the team is Permafrost, our Mamoswine. And we are running Adamant Max Attack Life Orb with Thick Fat. I think I eat 1 Flare Blitz from Scarf Darmanitan because I have Thick Fat, but I do not eat a banded Flare Blitz at all. So it'll be nice to get up rocks versus him. That's pretty much why I'm breeding this Mamoswine. Earthquake, Icicle Crash, and Ice Shard are nice coverage. Ice Shard is particularly great because of the fact that it does like 70% to Haxorus. Togetic is not appreciating Mamoswine, and yeah, Mamoswine just puts in work versus his team, and like it does for most teams, so that's always great bringing it. I'm running Max Attack Adamant Life Orb just because of the fact that I want to do as much damage as possible, and my beginning approach to his team is leading off with the Cofagrigus and trying to just get up as many Toxic Spikes as possible. So that is the game plan versus Alpha, and I will hop right over to the battle for you guys. So, looking at the team he brought only probably 3 things that I expected him to bring. The other 3 are wild cards. And what I mean by wild cards is I didn't think he would actually bring the Togetic, but he actually did. Weezing is like a toss-up, and he actually brought the Crustle. So, no Mega Lopunny, no Haxorus, no Reuniclus. I was just dumbfounded almost. I was kind of predicting Snorlax this match as well, but no Snorlax, so it's kind of good for me, and then in a way it's kind of bad for me because of the fact that I almost over-prepped for the Mega Lopunny just like I did previously. Over-prepped for things like Haxorus because of the fact that Haxorus actually rips through my team. If you look, my Dragon Resist on my team is Deancey, and Haxorus gets, well, it's my Dragon Immunity. I have Steelix as well, but it has Iron Head, so I'm not too sure why he didn't bring the Haxorus. But anyway, I don't have control over it. So he actually does bring the Togetic, the Crocodile, the Weezing, the Manaphy, the Crustle, and the Raichu. So looking at his team right off the bat, I know he's going to lead with Crustle. But the fact is, I don't know what Crustle set that is. It could be a fully offensive Shell Smash Sweeper, trying to rip through my team as much as possible, or it could be a Custat Berry because they do get sturdy with the Stealth Rock and Spikes, just trying to get up as many hazards as possible because I do have a Mega-Pinsir. So I don't know what set he is, and I know he's going to lead with it because nobody doesn't lead with their Crustle, at least most people lead with their Crustal. So I'll hop right into the battle, and I'll normal so I can explain the plays a little bit. So I just go ahead and lead with my Mamoswine, trying to get up my rocks, and because it's a decent matchup, go straight for the Icicle Crash because I could potentially get a flinch and then actually just kill this thing right off. But he breaks through, clicks his Stealth Rock, and at this point I just get up my own rocks. This allows me to at least know what set he is before he dies too. I could have potentially just clicked the Icicle Crash here or Earthquake again, but I actually thought he would be a just keep setting up some hazards, and I didn't want that. I actually thought he could have switched out as well into something like the Weezing, trying to get a potential burn after he got his rocks up. So I just went for my own rocks. I thought it'd be my safest play. So that is just my thinking. So he actually goes for the Shell Smash here, and I know that's a bit of a problem because he's White Herb, and I will not kill him with the Ice Shard. So I just go straight for the Ice Shard to get the most damage off as possible because I know my Mamoswine is going down here. Now this particularly probably wasn't my best play. I did realize that later on in the match. Because of the fact that getting rid of that Ice Shard priority that is very, very deadly probably wasn't my best decision, but if you look at it, I don't necessarily have any good switch ends. I pretty much had to sack something off and then proceed to revenge kill, but maybe I could have sacked something like the Blastoise or something else. So maybe it wasn't my best play, maybe it was, we'll see. I will resume. Into the Pinsir we go, trying to get a quick Mega Evolution off with the quick attack, so that's great for me. I will be taking 50% on rocks the next time I switch out because I know he's just going to bring in the Raichu here. It naturally outspeeds me, and it will probably be carrying a Scarf or a Specs, so he's just going to Volt Switch on out. That's his best play, and looking at that damage, that is 100% Specs. Into the Crawford I go. And now he brings in the Crocodile, and I see no Intimidate. So as soon as I see no Intimidate, I have to switch out because of the fact that I know this is going to be offensive Crocodile and Knockoff is going to kill me. He could have made a prediction and probably went for Earthquake. It wouldn't have been that bad of a play. If he was Banded, that was probably his best play, but he's actually Scarf. This is another crucial play. I don't necessarily have a decent knockoff switch in, except this because I quad resisted. So I do lose my Chople Berry here on the knockoff, which is pretty crucial actually, because I know he's Scarf, Moxie, Crocodile now. So gotta watch out for that. Go into the Weezing here. I just go ahead and go for Taunt because I know he's just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp or a yeah. So he just switches out into the Togetic. Now I can get off a knockoff here, get rid of the Violite, and I'm going to switch out here on the off chance I actually clicked Parting Shot because I outspeed him, because I know he could be carrying the Dazzling Gleam, and I don't want him to be using that. So he just goes for the Wish, and it's nice to see that he is Wish Togetic because Wish, these things have like no HP, so it's not going to be passing that much HP. So I just go for the Willows because I wanted to get residual damage on something. I didn't think I needed to set up my Toxic Spikes just yet, but now that he is in here at -1, I'm going to go straight for the Toxic Spikes. So getting up 1 layer is really nice. He Ice Beams, I'm not entirely sure why. Now he sets up a Tail Glow, and my play here was, I wouldn't call it a misplay. It's just the fact that I could have clicked Haze here, and I actually clicked Knockoff here. Haze would have dropped his stats back to the original points, so 0, and it would have just been a little bit more of a stalwart. It would have been getting off a little bit more damage with a burn, and it really wouldn't have done too much. Like if I just kept spamming Haze, I would have lost the Cofagrigus anyway, but the Manaphy would have been a little bit lower. So I guess it doesn't really matter, so I just go for the Knockoff here. Getting rid of this thing's item because I don't know what it is. It actually ends up being Expert Belt, which is great for me because it doesn't really do much for him anyway. So he just goes to the Scald. Obviously that's going to finish me off because I'm physically defensive, and now this Manaphy's at 39%. So I actually go hard into my Pinsir because it puts the most pressure on him, and I just go straight for the Frustration. I could have went into the Thundurus and tried to kill him off, but I didn't want the this thing coming in on the Lightning Rod, so I don't have another switch in, so I just go for the Quick Attack. Does a decent amount, as he's just going to Volt Switch on out and kill my Mega-Pinsir. So Mega-Pinsir goes down. He goes into the Weezing once again, and I'm just going to go straight into, I believe, yeah, Pangoro. And it allows me to get off another Taunt, which is great, and I I think I get off a taunt. Yeah, I get off a taunt, and now this thing can't really do too much. As you can see, it switches out, so I know he doesn't have the Dazzling Gleam. Gonna go ahead and click Parting Shot, gives me the most momentum. Into the Blastoise I go to spin away these rocks. It's probably my best play. He sees no item, so he doesn't know what set I am. I just go straight for the spin, as he goes for the Toxic, which is totally fine by me. And I don't know if he has Will-O-Wisp, he has maybe dual status. So he goes for the Taunt, I don't know, maybe thinking I have Refresh. But I just go for the Dragon Tail here. Gets his Raichu out here, which is probably the worst possible thing. I guess, looking at that last play, I could have potentially clicked Scald and done a little bit more damage to the Weezing, now that I look at it, because he had me Toxic, and then he doesn't necessarily have a good Scald switch in. So looking back at it, Scald was probably my best play. I could have got a burn. It would have done a decent amount to the Weezing, and I don't know. Maybe that was my best play. My thing was I wanted to bring in the Crocodile and hopefully get it poisoned. Also, I wanted to bring in the Togetic and try to kill it off, because I don't want him to have free sacks, and I don't want him to just pivot freely. So because he has that Scarf Crocodile. Now I'm just going to click play here. I don't have a switch in. I know I can eat a Thunderbolt, but I will die to the Toxic, and I just finish him off with the Scald. So that's unfortunate that the Blastoise pretty much got, I don't know, unlucky with the Dragon Tail phase. Probably got the worst one possible. So he does bring in the Crocodile here. And I know this thing does carry Superpower because he is Scarf, so I'm going to switch out into my Thundurus here. And we're going to eat the Superpower pretty well, honestly. That doesn't do too much at all. Especially if I was leftovers would have helped tremendously. So now is the biggest play of the game. As you can see, I go for the Nasty Plot here, and yeah, on his switching into Weezing. So this is the biggest play of the game. Now I did some calcs. I did not want his Crocodile coming back in here and getting to be able, or being able to throw off a Stone Edge here, because it would have killed the Thundurus. Even I'm pretty sure a knockoff might have even killed this thing. So that was my thinking here. The play was to go for Thunderbolt 110% though, because of the fact that if he would have doubled into Crocodile here, then he definitely would have just went for the knockoff or the Stone Edge, and that would have given me a free switch into Pangoro and more damage on rocks, more damage on poison. So the play was to definitely click Thunderbolt here. But I actually end up clicking HP Ice, and running some calcs, I killed a max HP Weezing with a Hidden Power Ice at with a decent amount to go. Like I killed it with probably about like 70 to 75 with a max HP Weezing on a Hidden Power Ice after +2. And as you can see, he is actually running a max Weezing. So max special defense, max HP, and a boosting special defense nature. So I think it's Calm. So I go for the Hidden Power Ice. It does nothing. It only does 48%. So he's max. I was kind of frustrated at that because of the fact that I'm taking Life Orb damage, Clear Smog damage, and now I pretty much just lose this match. Crit doesn't matter. I would have killed him anyway. But now he can just lock himself into the Superpower here and pretty much just win this game. Now I switch into my Pangoro here. It's literally my only play. If he would have clicked Superpower there, he would have won. But he gives me a slight chance, but he still has a sack and the Togekiss, and he can just lock himself into the Superpower, and it is game over. So we actually lose our very first match ever in League format just because of a bad misplay by me. It was definitely the play to click the Thunderbolt for sure. Wasn't really predicting specially defensive Weezing, at least max specially defensive Weezing. And Alpha is going to win this game with one Pokemon left and just sweep it. Well, yeah, pretty much sweeping me with a Crocodile, and there's nothing I can do about it. So a couple things to take away from that match. One is try not to over prep for Mon, because of the fact that I should have known that he wouldn't thought about my Cofagrigus, because it literally just walls Mega Lopunny completely, because of the fact that I have the Mummy ability and it will get rid of its Scrappy ability, and I can live any 2 hits this thing wants to throw at me. And because of the fact that I did not really think of that, and I didn't really over prep for a lot of things on his team, so I really need to take into account more of the smaller mons, because the fact that look what, well, I guess Weezing put in work just because it's so bulky. Another thing is I could have potentially thrown Grass Knot on my Thundurus, making me go for the Thunderbolt. But then again, it's just, it was pretty much a 50-50 there. I had to go for the Thunderbolt though, and that is the reason why we lost this match. We are 2-1 in the NPL. We still have a great, positive differential. I'm still +5 after 3 games. And I'm actually tied for the top of the division now with Eric, the guy we played first week, the coach of the Reno Reggies. So we are tied for first place in the Mew-two division, and I think we are actually at the top of the conference as well. So we didn't really lose that much from this battle as far as standings go. Still tied for first place in our conference. There's only one undefeated team left, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for the loss. I could have definitely won this match, but Alpha played great. He knew exactly what he was doing. The Crustal plays were decent as well. So yeah, not too much to say about this game. Other than that, it was a decent game. We both played well. It was a hard-fought match. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll definitely learn from this loss, especially it being my only loss, and we'll move on from there. So hope you guys will stick with me through the later parts of the season, and we'll move on to week 4. Week 4 we play Ben, the coach of the LA Go-Goats, and I will hopefully get back on the winning side of things. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.